penalties say. It's a really good ball. It's Shabalala! Goal! Bafana Bafana! Goal for South Africa! Goal for all Africa!
If you were lucky to be around in 2010 during the FIFA World Cup, then you know the buzz of the Vuvuzela and how big Africans love football. When it comes to sports, definitely football ranks #1 as the most followed sport on the African continent. In this video, we bring you the top 10 African footballing nations according to the 2021 FIFA rankings. And if you're new here, my name is Gani and this is the African Meat Show, where I spread good vibes about the African continent. So if you want to learn more about the African continent and African culture in general, please consider subscribing, turn the bell notification on as well, so that every time I upload a new video, I get you notified. And also remember that towards every end of my videos, I share a free Swahili lesson. This is simply because Swahili is the most spoken African language on the African continent, so be sure to look out for that. Number 10, Burkina Faso. Commonly nicknamed as the Stallions, the West African nation currently ranks number 10 on the African continent according to the 2021 FIFA rankings. Among Burkina Faso's top achievements is the fact that they've twice been at the African Cup of Nations, and maybe the most memorable one is when they hosted the African Cup of Nations in 1998. Number 9, Mali. Also known as the Eagles, this West African nation currently ranks 9th on the African continent if you look at the 2021 FIFA rankings. Looking at the country's strength in terms of football, Mali has so far qualified 11 times for the African Cup of Nations, and maybe the most memorable time that they featured at the African Cup of Nations was in 2002 when they hosted the African Cup of Nations. Mali can best be remembered for great players like Frederick Kanouté, then Mohamed Sissoko, Seydou Keita, and so many other great players. Number 8, Ghana. Commonly nicknamed as the Black Stars, the West African nation currently ranks 8th on the African continent according to the 2021 FIFA rankings. Ghana has so far won 4 trophies of the African Cup of Nations, and looking at their World Cup performance, they've so far featured 3 times at the World Cup, and maybe the most memorable one was that 2010 appearance when they actually made it up to the quarterfinals. I believe for those people that watch the games, you must be remembering that quarterfinal game against Uruguay when a Samoan squandered the penalty that could have taken Ghana, or let me say the entire African continent, to the semi-finals of the World Cup for the first time.
Into the semi-finals of the World Cup, and he hits the bar!
Ghana is definitely a great footballing nation, and it can best be remembered for great players like Abedi Pele, Michael Essien, Tony Yeboah, Sule Montari, Asamoah Gyan, Kevin Prince Boateng, and so many other great players that have ever worn that Black Stars jersey. Number 7, Cameroon. Also nicknamed as the Lions, Cameroon currently ranks number 7 on the African continent according to the 2021 FIFA rankings. The country has won 5 trophies of the African Cup of Nations, and it has also featured 7 times at the FIFA World Cup, with the most memorable one being the 1990 World Cup when Roger Milla did Roger Milla magic. I believe for those people that were lucky to watch those games, you must remember that Roger Milla magic that he performed during the World Cup. Cameroon can also be remembered for other great players like Patrick Mboma, Samuel Eto'o, Pius Ndiefi, and so many other great players that have ever worn that Cameroon jersey. Number 6. Egypt. Also commonly known as the Pharaohs, Egypt currently ranks 6th on the African continent, and this is according to the 2021 FIFA Rankings. This great North African nation has so far won the most titles of the African Cup of Nations, and they currently stand at 7 trophies. They've also been to the FIFA World Cup 3 times now, and they can best be remembered for great players like Osam Hassan, Mohamed Aboutrika, then there's Essam El Hadri, there's Hossam Mido, Ahmed Hassan, who's by the way the most capped football player in the world, and other great players like Mohamed Salah, who is a new blood, new talent, and this guy is phenomenal. Number 5. Nigeria. Also commonly known as the Super Eagles, Nigeria currently ranks 5th on the African continent, and when you look at their past achievements, Nigeria has so far won 5 African Cup of Nations titles, and when you look at their World Cup appearances, they've so far qualified for 6 times to go to the FIFA World Cup, and this was done by great players like JJ Okocha, Nwankwo Kanu, Taribo West, George Finidi, Sunday Olise, Yakubu Igibeni, and so many other great players that have played in that Super Eagles team. Number 4. Morocco. Also commonly known as the Atlas Lions, Morocco currently ranks 4th on the African continent when you look at the 2021 FIFA rankings, and on the African continent they've so far won 1 trophy of the African Cup of Nations, and I'm sure if you've been around for quite a long time, you remember names like Mustafa Haji, Ahmed Faras, then recently names like Maroun Shamaha, who greatly performed for the Moroccan team. Morocco has also featured 5 times at the FIFA World Cup, and I must say they are a great footballing nation.
Superbly!
Number 3. Algeria. Commonly nicknamed as the Desert Foxes, Algeria currently ranks 3rd on the African continent, and when you look at their African Cup of Nations performances, they've so far won this trophy 2 times, and among their other achievements is the fact that they've actually qualified to go play at the FIFA World Cup 4 times now. This great nation can best be remembered for great players like Rabah Maja, then Jamel Menad, other great players like Riyad Mahrez, who actually helped them win their most recent African Cup of Nations trophy. Number 2. Tunisia. Also nicknamed as the Eagles of Carthage, Tunisia currently ranks 2nd on the African continent, and they've so far won 1 African Cup of Nations trophy. Tunisia has also qualified 5 times for the World Cup, and this was done by great players like Radi Jaidi, Hatem Trabelsi, and so many other great players. And finally, at number 1 is Senegal, also nicknamed as the Lions of Teranga. Senegal currently ranks number 1 on the African continent according to the 2021 FIFA rankings, and looking at their performances, their most memorable performance was in 2002 when they reached the final against Cameroon. Unfortunately, they lost that final to Cameroon on penalties. Senegal has also qualified for 2 times to go play at the FIFA World Cup, and maybe also the most memorable one was that 2002 performance when they won the opening game of the tournament against the defending champions by then, who were France. that Boba Diop goal was magic. They actually managed to go up to the quarterfinals. Senegal as a nation has produced great players like El Hadji Diouf, Ferdinand Coly, then Omar Daf, Aliou Cisse, Henry Camara, and they now have Sadio Mane who scores goals for fun. For our Swahili lesson, it is kufanya kazi. This translates as working, and if I'm to put this in a sentence, I would maybe say naenda mjini kufanya kazi, basically translating as I'm going to town for work. So that wraps up our video for today, and in case you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and also remember to please consider subscribing to the channel, turn the bell notification on as well, so that whenever I upload a new video, I get you notified. Thank you so much for watching this video. Watch more African content here.